we're going to talk about a concept that's so simple, you use the word for it a dozen times a day. But it's also so weirdly complicated that, well, it might not even be real.
What is nothing?
No, I mean, really think about it. What are we even talking about here? A place with absolutely no space, no time, no particles, no energy, no anything? It sounds so easy, right? Just the absence of all the stuff. But what if I told you that you and me and every single person, we are physically incapable of actually picturing it? Because here's the kicker. No matter how hard you try, you just can't do it. And that right there is the huge paradox. The word nothing feels so intuitive. It's just empty, right? But when scientists and philosophers actually tried to pin it down, they found something kind of mind-blowing. True nothing might not exist at all. Okay, so to kick this all off, let's try a little experiment. We're just going to use the one tool we have for making pictures, our own brain. Go ahead, you can do this with me right now. Close your eyes and really genuinely try to imagine nothing. Just erase everything. What pops into your head? I'm willing to bet you saw darkness, a big, empty, black void. That's what most of us see. But here's the catch. That isn't nothing. That's something. It's a black space. Your brain just did a little magic trick on you. It replaced the impossible idea of nothing with the next best thing it could understand, an empty room. So our brains cheat. They show us empty space instead of nothing. Fine. But what about actual empty space? You know, if we look out into the real universe, what's the closest we can get to nothing? Probably the vacuum of deep space, right? Well, it turns out even a perfect vacuum is actually humming with activity. Yeah, at the quantum level, space isn't this quiet, empty stage. It's more like a buzzing, bubbling sea of energy. And out of this sea, tiny virtual particles are constantly popping into existence and then vanishing again, all in a fraction of a second. So even the emptiest place you can possibly imagine is still full of something. And all that activity in the vacuum? It takes us even deeper, into the super strange world of quantum physics, where the whole idea of nothing just completely falls apart. So here's the most important part. According to the fundamental laws of reality, a state of pure, absolute nothing is just unstable. It's shaky. It can't hold itself together. What on earth does that mean? It basically suggests that if you could somehow create a little pocket of true nothingness, it just wouldn't last. The laws of physics themselves would force it to decay into something. It's almost like nothingness has a natural allergy to itself. It wants to produce particles out of a total void. But hey, this isn't just some headache for physicists. Philosophers have been pulling their hair out over this for centuries, and they hit a totally different, but just as impossible, roadblock. It all comes down to one of the biggest, most classic questions anyone has ever asked. Why is there something instead of nothing? It sounds so simple, but it is a massive, massive mystery. And you see, this question reveals this perfect logical trap. The very second you try to define nothing, the moment you give it a name and treat it like a concept you can talk about, you've given it properties. You've accidentally turned nothing into a something. It's a paradox you literally can't think your way out of. So let's try to tie all these ideas from physics and philosophy together, because they're all pointing toward a really stunning conclusion about, well, everything. For there to be true nothing, you'd need a state with zero laws of physics, no time dimension, not even the potential or the possibility for something to exist, a complete and utter absence of existence itself. Now just stop for a second and think about that. If that state of true nothingness was ever real, how could anything ever have come from it? There'd be no rules, no potential, no way for anything to ever change. And yet, here we are. You're here. This whole universe is here. And the simple fact that we exist has led scientists to some really clever theories that just sidestep the problem of nothing completely. Some theories suggest the universe in one form or another has just always been here. Others say it popped out of a pre-existing quantum state. You know, that buzzing sea of potential we talked about, which is definitely not nothing. And all of this leads us to the biggest takeaway of all. Our gut tells us that nothing is the default setting, the simple absence of everything. But what if that idea is the ultimate illusion? Maybe the big trick is thinking nothing was ever the blank canvas that reality started from.
What if it's a concept that just can't exist? It never has and it never could. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question to chew on.
If this little dive into the void totally broke your brain, do me a favor and hit that like button. And I really want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. Do you think true nothing is even possible? And of course, make sure you subscribe for more explainers that tackle these huge questions. Because sometimes the most mysterious thing in the entire universe is nothing at all.